Wow. So it focuses a lot on like the female body and like to do with women. And I read somewhere that you talked about beauty and like how villains, even in like Disney films, are beautiful. And it's as if film companies can't make unattractive women in films. And I thought that was really interesting. I just thought you could talk about that maybe.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm really interested in, of how the evil woman, like it would be Angelina Jolie and like Maleficent, or I talked about Uma Thurman who played Medusa, and I think that also comes back to kind of the binaries of the woman, that she can never be more than one. For example, like if we go back to the original myth of Medusa, she was a woman, and because she was beautiful, she became a monster. So she was a victim, was a woman, was beautiful, and because she was beautiful, she was raped. Because she was raped, as a punishment, she was punished and turned into a monster. And yet, as soon as she became a monster, the beautifulness was stopped. And I think in the recreations of her, she, like, I think I talked about in Little Mermaid, Ursula, who is like really curvy, big, like really cool makeup, big hair, and even you know, that monster, which isn't supposed to be very beautiful, she still has, you know, signifies that represent beauty and makeup and pearls and, you know, coiffed hair. Like there's no gross monsters that are women.
No.
And because I think a woman in film that's not attractive goes against the whole film industry. Like, what's she doing there if she's not a little bit pretty? And so it's kind of the revisiting this myth and like showing that, like opening myths up and showing how messy they are. Because normally we just think of like a myth as something very easy and very kind of no complexities, and I kind of wanted to. So Vitare means like to injure, to spoil, to taint, to corrupt, to damage, to violate sexually. Like it means all of those things, and I kind of wanted it. I wanted all those like subtleties in the title instead of like another word that wouldn't have all those different kind of synonyms and not synonyms, like all those kind of juxtapositions. So yeah,
because I suppose myths get kind of simplified over time. So you're like taking it back to its original and how complex it is. That's really interesting. So you're doing like short videos, aren't you? Like multiple short videos. So how have you been creating them? Who have you been working with?
Yeah, so there's currently 9 of us. So I really wanted to become a very collaborative project. I kind of talk about like as a patchwork, and to kind of reveal those overlapping truths that are inside us. So in one video, for example, there would be, I do visuals and I have like the end edit on everything, but there'd be, even in a 10-second video, there'd be layers to it. Like someone would have written the text, someone else would have done the music, I would have done the visuals, someone else might have edited it, have all those different levels. Even if it's a text written by someone but said by someone else, I think that adds to kind of the patchwork effect that is kind of, so the form represents, you know, what we're talking about, which is that everything's a bit layered and complicated and not bite-sized.
How many videos are you creating on a whole, or is it loads?
So by myself, without as a proposition, I've created 15, and the longest of that being 3 minutes, shortest like 8 seconds. Altogether, I think at the moment we've got like maybe 20 something videos, and we're hoping to get like at least 50. We want a digital installation, so that effectively, if it was in a real space, a physical space, the walls would be filled with all these videos and all these voices and all these like Medusas, like all these people that are living in bodies and kind of living in your body and knowing that it's been robbed is the kind of what we're kind of thinking about. So all those videos like around in a space but online is kind of the goal of that.
What's it been like working with all these different people? Do you know them, or have you met them through Tablespoon, or how have you got together?
So I know some of them are friends that I've worked with before, like 3 of them, so not at all the majority. And the others, we did a call out, and basically, so we gave them this big stimulus that I wrote and said, because we wanted all sorts of artists. We weren't looking for someone who does sound particularly. We wanted really, if you feel that what I'm talking about in my personal experience, in your personal experience, you know, it can be completely different. You get the sense of wanting to create something and wanting to embody those sensations. That's kind of how I met everyone.
So what do you think, would you say is like the main message?
Is to kind of focus on how the process of fragmentation and flattening is so common. And so I really want it to be a space with the creators where everything is a right answer and everything is like all these truths are overlapping and, you know, juxtaposing and creating something that is yourself, and you don't have to I really kind of don't want to sell the project or even the vid as something, because, you know, in the fact that, especially if it's personalized with all these tiny videos, you're going to get something completely different, especially I think for people who fit like in multiple pockets of existence. So if you're like, for example, a woman and maybe queer, then that's your identity, and that's a myth, that's your myth, like you're a queer woman and white, for example, like me, and then that's who I am, and that's who I'm selling myself as. But in that there's lots of different layers, and I kind of want to make all those bigger.
Well, I like that idea of like your own myth. Like it's specifically to women. I know I've felt it, where you feel like you have to simplify yourself to not be a nuisance and to not be a hindrance.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be manageable and like appealing, like an appealing, like little present with a bow. Like, this is me. I'm very understandable. I'm simple. Please, like, don't, respect me. And you have to make yourself respectable in a respectable form.
I feel like the good thing about this is that it's getting a lot of people involved. You know, it's not just one person writing it and producing it. It's getting everyone involved. Because I feel like that's what sometimes you need. You need to create something yourself to feel empowered. Because some of the videos are so like, they're so like in depth, and they're so like complicated, and they're so emotional and so raw. And it's like, God, a lot of people have worked on this 8-second video, you know, and you've got all this collaboration over the internet as well.
You know, it's not just a female only project, even though it could have been. But I think it's also interesting to see that, you know, for toxic masculinity and the patriarchy, as we know now, like that's worse for men. And there's a person on the team is also taking it from that point of view of, you know, the feminine and the masculine, and how they're evil in certain ways, and certain ways on your body, and, you know, in those connotations, and kind of working with the myth of what the man is to as opposition to the woman. I think both are really interesting. And I kind of want to create that too, in the feeling of everyone kind of completing each other's, you know, traumas or difficult moments or feelings, and saying, I get that in this way, and kind of translating that for each other.
What do you think the end goal is?
I really want the emphasis to be on creativity and not productivity. That's why, you know, for the number of videos, I don't know, because maybe in 2 more videos, I think that's fine. Like, we're done, you know, we don't know. So I'm that's also exciting, that because there's so many collaborators, I don't know what the end will look like, which I'm really excited about as a director. Like, they're really molding and forming what the installation will be, and it's not just on me. So I'm just excited to see every time like I get an email, I'm like, oh, this is going to be in it. This is what I'm making, and I don't even know it. Like, I find that really exciting.
Oh, I'm really excited to see it. I've seen 2 videos. Joya's let me see 2 videos. Who are you working with in Tablespoon? Which
Joya. So we're working. Joya, so she's also a part of the collaboration. She just sent me some videos today. Like, she's also going to be creating, which I find that really exciting. So that was a really good sign for me. I was like, oh, I'm doing something good if she wants to be part of it. And it's been really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, you know, it's good when someone who doesn't have to be in it, who hasn't asked to be in it, is like, can I do something? Yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, well, it's been so lovely talking to you. I'm really excited to see how things go.
Thank you, so am I.